How is everyone doing? My name is Joe.
And I am Bob.
And together, guys, we ran a very fast load of oak firewood into this trailer. And I want you guys to stick around because during this video, you're gonna see a drag race to see who is the better operator of the Japa 405. The KG veteran or the wily underdog? Who wins? Have you ever gotten into your car and you just know something is wrong? Well, since I've gotten the new Japa 405, I have noticed something is amiss and I just couldn't put my finger on it. And the machine was cutting my logs a ½ inch too long. After 2 years of stacking perfectly length 16-inch firewood with my old Japa 365, there's just something seemed wrong. And my machine was cutting my logs at 16.5 inches long. And I could feel it. I could sense it. And this is all coincidental here, guys, because our good friend Bob from Metsa Machines is on a trip out this way. And he was going to stop over anyways. But I thought we would take this time. We had just some fine tuning to do on the Japa 405. And the first thing was he corrected my length of my logs. He fixed it to be perfect 16 inches. So everyone, you may have recognized Bob. He is a big fan of our channel Outside with Shibe. We need to get you a Ohio Woodburner t-shirt.
I hear that's in the works.
So Bob is from Merrill, Wisconsin. He is with Metsa Machines, who is the United States importer of the Japa firewood processors.
Yep.
And this machine has just been a home run. The Japa 405, and this is the only diesel-powered Japa 405 in the world. Yep. And it is right here. And we're gonna talk about how great this machine has been for me. But you know, since Bob was here, he just wanted to just check out some adjustments and make sure everything's working right. And the first thing was that Bob did is he climbed under the hood and he adjusted the length of our cuts.
Yep, and the length is actually easy to adjust. We just loosen these two. They're kind of like a clutch lock lever, and then we can slide this whole apparatus left or right. And when we do that, that basically, the logs are hitting our hydraulic log stopper, and that stops the infeed. So now we've got it set to where you're getting your perfect 16-inch lengths. But we also did something else your YouTube channel will appreciate. We replaced the missing bolts. And we checked the torque on everything else on the pusher, and all that is good now.
We have some sharp-eyed subscribers, and people were noticing that one of the bolts had fallen out. And it worked itself loose, and it got rammed into the facing of a log, and it wound up in my trailer. So we've put blue Loctite on them and got them all snugged down.
Since we were in the area, instead of shipping the four-way traditional knife on a pallet, I figured I'd throw it in the back of my car. So now you've got even more versatility.
Okay. We did not have a four-way when this machine was delivered. These were on back order. Is that right, Bob?
Yep. And we just got them in now.
And now we have the four-way. And I am running a table of oak right now, guys. And this one restaurant likes bigger pieces. So I'm going to be running these logs through a four-way. And I think we can show you some logs getting made. So let's take a quick look. And we're right at 16 inches, guys. So the adjustments are working right. What makes the 405 such a dynamite machine is that perfect split system. Well, this can also transition to a traditional knife, which is what we have in. If you watched my one video, what Japa wants to do is they want to take this face off of the ram because the ram can blast the knife. Well, they make this whole face come off and you can bolt these on. So these would get bolted on like this, guys, and this would allow the ram to push the logs and clear the knife. It would allow a space so that it can go past this to get the logs pushed out from underneath. and that will allow you to adjust the knife up and down when the log's been split. Well, I came up with this other idea where the computer controls how far this ram comes out, and I set it on -4 so that the ram would only come out about this far. Well, that's fine, but it's not pushing the log all the way through. A lot of you guys had pointed out, well, Joe, make it go -2, -1. And I did, and it is getting it a lot closer to it. But I think at the end of the day, it probably doesn't matter that much. Or I'm pushing that log through with the next log. So it gets through it eventually. But what I have learned is, you know, the traditional knives are a lot faster than the perfect split system. But the perfect split system, you know, is perfect, man.
So I think with the way that you've got it set up, I personally don't see it as a problem either, especially if you're going to spend most of your time doing perfect split, which I think is the case. If you were going to spend most of your time doing traditional, then I think putting those extra pieces in there and having that groove cut out, I think that would be it'd be much more advantageous for you to do that. Obviously, this isn't what we're supposed to do, but me personally, I've used it that way and it works well. As long as you are, you know, knowledgeable of what's going on with the computer system and you keep it at that now we put it at -1, and we still have probably an inch before we're hitting the knife. So it looks like it's working really well that way.
The challenge that I have is I have just spent 2 years talking to my loggers and getting on them. I need small logs, small logs, small logs. This was what I was wanting to get.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm telling them, do the opposite now. I want bigger logs.
Yeah.
What I had found, like a log like this size here, guys.
Yeah.
This is ideal size for the perfect split.
Yeah.
Because it's just making those pieces right off the bottom.
That'll probably make like 12 pieces.
Yeah, and the challenge then is when you run one of these through a traditional knife, you know, if you don't hit it center, you get some big pieces on top, small pieces on the bottom, then you got to resplit.
Yep, exactly.
When you run the smaller logs through the perfect split system, it just seems like it's not the right size for it. You know, it could go through so much better with that 4-way traditional knife. So here's my challenge. I have like 7 triaxle loads of skinny logs. And what I am planning to do is to leave this traditional knife in and run all these logs through it until my new logs are coming in with the bigger one.
Sure.
And so then, guys, I'll be putting the perfect split back in it. And here's one of the perfect splits. This is the 6-way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you guys have seen that work. There'll be links in my end screen for how the perfect split system works. But it's patented, right?
Yep.
These are the only firewood processors that can have this type of system on them. And guys, it's just dynamite, Bob.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They really did. And I know they went through several revisions of these knives before they got it right. And they've really held up well.
I've noticed that they're all staggered, so the wood's hitting them at different times.
Yep, exactly.
And then they kind of fan out,
Yep.
so that the logs aren't getting jammed up on the outfeed. Huh?
Yep. Another thing that we were looking at was the fact that your infeed wasn't moving as smoothly or as quickly as it should have been. So we adjusted. There's a diverter valve right underneath the joystick. It's probably hard to get on screen, but you can kind of see in there. And that diverter valve will basically, it divides the pressure that's going to the infeed rollers and the infeed belt, and then also this lifting, the floating log clamp here. So basically those two things are kind of sharing power. But I think there was too much going to this, so this didn't need to be as aggressive as it was, and we wanted a little bit more aggressiveness on the infeed rollers. So we made that quick adjustment, which is just turning that knob until you get fine-tuned where you like it to be.
One of the things that our subscribers are very curious about is the efficiency of this.
Sure.
And I think when you delivered it, we were right around 11 hours, and I'm at 22 hours. Guys, I have just put in my first can of diesel. So it was reading just below a quarter tank. I have run, you know how I am with numbers, I've run 9 tables of logs, and I still had fuel in the tank. And the tank is how big?
It's a 12-gallon tank.
12-gallon tank. And I still had just a little bit beneath a quarter tank, and then I added to it. So guys, I would estimate 1 gallon an hour it's using.
Yeah, the D902 it's pretty efficient engine.
And here is the engine. What is this, Bob?
Yeah, this is the Kubota D902 diesel engine, and like you said before, this is the first one that we put together with the Japa processor. So this 405 is one of a kind. What's really cool when we're talking about efficiency is the fact that this is only a 25 horsepower engine. And you're cutting, you're splitting, you're running an auxiliary cleaner, you're running a table, you're doing everything. And still only using, you know, a gallon, maybe. I think maybe at full bore you'd use a gallon and a half an hour. I mean, it's pretty impressive. When we had this at the Vermont trade show, a lot of people were coming up and watching it in action, and they were asking us, well, how big is that engine? And you tell them 25 horse, and they no way, you know, they can't believe that.
Yeah.
So it's and that goes hand in hand with the way that Japa engineers and designs their stuff too. They really have an efficient process with how the machine works.
Mm-hmm. So this is a 25 horse Kubota, and this does not have emissions. It does not have regen
Correct.
or DEF. Is that right?
You don't have to worry about any of that. It's below that horsepower threshold where you don't have the DEF to worry about, and you don't have regenerations or any of that.
Okay. So Bob, you have a lot of driving ahead of you.
Yeah.
But you got some time here to make some firewood?
I love making firewood.
As do I. These are all oak logs, guys. Let's see how it goes. Here's a crooked log, guys. Let's see how it goes. This is an 18.5-foot log, guys. This is oak. This is an 18.5-foot log. We're going to lay down the gauntlet. We're going to see how fast this machine can run this log, making it into firewood. Let's see. Come on. All right, guys. So I'm going to hop on the... Bob is going to hop on the controls, and this is going to be the fastest 18-foot log ever. Okay. Start the timer. Ready? our pile here. It's looking good. Crooked log, guys. Check this one out. Alright guys, this is just about the exact same length of log that Bob ran. This one is clearly bigger, but I think it's time to see if I can run it faster than Bob. All right. Yeah, hey, all right. All right, you're doing good?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know, the rack's empty. We gotta put some more wood on
Where
it.
did all the wood go? So is it a good idea to let this thing idle for a while after it's done running?
Let it idle for a minute or so.
Okay.
It's not a bad idea.
So come on up here, camera girl. We are...
Sorry, I had the settings open. There we go.
Guys, we screwed around a little bit too, but we set this. We didn't reset the cordage though, that's wrong. The timer was at 22 minutes of running time. This is 22 minutes of running this machine. This is oak. Nice looking wood too, huh? Mm-hmm. I'm going to estimate, guys, we won't know until this is stacked, but this is a little bit, this is probably right at a half a cord, I would say. I would be surprised if it's any more or any less. But the bottom line is, it's made nice firewood. This is going to that one barbecue restaurant, and they don't mind bigger pieces of oak, so that's why we ran like some of that one bigger log through the 4-way. They kind of like those splits. It's just because of the smoker that they have. But Bob, what are you thinking here?
I like it. It's really enjoyable to run.
You know,
I'm curious to see the results of the race.
I have a feeling I smoked you, man. I am thinking that 22 minutes of your time, you know, to make a load of firewood like this is something, you know? So that's not always an accurate display of a machine, because you gotta prep the logs and get them loaded, you know? But the bottom line was, we filmed this, the timer was on the machine, and we ran that entire table in 22 minutes. What my point is, guys, it could have been even faster.
Yeah, including messing with the crooked logs and all that stuff we did.
And then when we messed around with that tape measure and had to get everything right too. Until Bob taught me how to use the tape measure, it went a lot easier. I thought this was a great way to display the machine. We didn't plan on it. It just turned out we had two nearly identical logs.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get more comfortable with the controls, guys. There was the one time I hit the blue button instead of the red button, and that made my table go up. I have learned when I'm running the traditional knives, I like to keep this tray down and just let the log fall in. I don't know, just seems to be my preference. Bob and I have been laughing because this is really a coincidental visit. And he had also taken an opportunity to go visit Adam with Hometown Acres, who's running a 365 PTO power. And he wanted to stop out here and just check out the 405. He told me he missed it.
I actually did, But I brought that 4-way knife for you now, and my next stop is home.
Awesome. Well, I really thank you for stopping out here.
You're welcome.
And checking out the machine and just showing me some more adjustments. You know, when we moved it out here, I mean, at least I was just overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. I had a lot on my mind that day, and I'm trying to figure out this machine. And I go back and look at my old video. The first time we filmed myself running this, I came off of this platform and I said, I'm under stress. You know, and I was, because I was, oh my gosh. But the buttons are starting to make a lot more sense to me now. I know what I want to do to, finesse logs in and cut here and there. So the 405 is a home run. And this is the only diesel-powered 405 in the world, guys. And you are watching it here at Ohio Woodburner. If you're interested in the 405, I'll put a link to Bob's Metsa Machines in the description. And please check out his YouTube channel. And he puts videos of all the Japa stuff on there. So guys, everyone, thank you for watching this video. Please hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to Ohio Woodburner, and certainly Metsa Machines, and what the heck, outside with Shibe while you're at it. Yeah, he's cool. All right guys, everyone, have a great day.